today's mathematics with your girl Sunshine Monie L. Today is, well, we're going to do tomorrow, but let's talk about today because I didn't see you guys today. Today is 3/10/9, right? So today was a day of Malkuth. Today was a day of Jeb, kingship, bringing that knowledge into our cipher, which ultimately brings us to knowledge. This was the alignment of the Ketters and the Malkuth, like the first and the 10th Sephiroth. So it was like being rooted up in the cosmos today, and at the same time being rooted in our earthly self. So that's fun. If you guys ever looked at the symbol of the tree of life, you'll see that it looks like there's roots going upward, but then there's also roots going downward at the same time. So it's just like one of those kind of days today. So we're going to take that day of knowledge in our cipher, and we're going to put it into the month of 3. This is the month of understanding. This is the month of expression. This is the month of creation. This is the month of Saturn, Bina energy. And if you guys have been reading Sefer Yetzirah with me, you will know that we have been, getting real heavy in that Bina Saturn energy, it being all about the fire, restrictions, discipline, and order. Hey, check out Wine. How you doing, beloved? Glad that you're back. It's all about restrictions and limitations and the challenges that you receive in your space to, help you enforce boundaries and order in your space, right? Venus is considered a feminine energy because, women bring the discipline and the order, it brings the restriction. It's kind of like the funnel to the womb, and it takes 9 months to have a baby rather than just keep cycling, babies over and over and over again. It doesn't work that way in a feminine body. There's more structure to it. You know what I'm saying? At least that's the examples that we got in Sefer Yetzirah, right? And we love it there. And so we're going to take that 1 of knowledge. We're going to put it to the 3 of understanding. And ultimately, of course, it's going to bring us to 4, which is cultural freedom. You know what I'm saying? And the 4, we also dealing with Chesed energy, which is ruled by Jupiter, in like traditional astrology, being more present. We get into the Neptune Pisces energy. 4 deals with Mayat. This is the celestial law. And so we're going to take that 4 of the Chesed energy. 4 also deals with the 4th house. This is Cancer vibes. You know what I'm saying? Home and family, sense of belonging, your emotional, intuitive, third eye, introspective self that you got from aligning your knowledge and your understanding. That 1 of Aries, taking action, and that 3 of community communication will bring you to 4, sense of belonging, right? And so we're going to take that and we're going to put that into the year of 9, because of course we want to give birth to this 4. We want to give birth to this Chesed. We want to give birth to this celestial law that we just created. We want to give birth to this grace and mercy that we have in our space. We want to give birth to a sense of belonging, because don't we all just want to belong somewhere? Right? We all want a tribe. We all want a community. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to put that 4 into the cosmos, you know what I'm saying, into that 9, that energy of born, giving birth. 9, we are in the year of the reproductive self, the sacral chakra, as Jupiter rules over the 9th house, that Sagittarius energy. You know what I'm saying? That is the sacral chakra. That's joy, generosity, and optimism, expansion and growth. You know what I'm saying? 9 also deals with Yesod. This is the Cancer energy. In the Sephiros in the tree of life, still bringing us to the divine womb, right? Whether we're dealing with it from the Jupiter Sagittarius realm of the sacral chakra, or dealing with it with 9 of Yesod, or even in supreme mathematics of 9 being associated with being born. And so we love it there. And we notice the pattern whenever we put a number into the 9, the 9 is going to give us those numbers back, but it gives it back to us in like bite-sized pieces. So we're going to put this 4 into the 9, and the 9 is like, all right, well, this is what you need to work on. In order for you to have this 4, you need to work on a 1 and a 3. Karmic debt number. You know what I'm saying? 13 is karmic debt because it's very difficult to act on how you feel in this world that teaches you to get out of your feelings, to ignore your emotions. Your feelings don't matter. This is something that we've been taught from childhood all the way up into adulthood, to ignore your emotions. But your emotions is like your number 1 antenna to actually listen to, which is wild. It's also very difficult to act out on what you understand, you know what I'm saying? Or stand under what you actually know versus what people keep teaching you and force feeding you to act like you know. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a whole nother, monster in itself too. So 13 is a karmic debt number because that is like the ultimate, like, can you do it type of energy. And then once you say, yes, I can, we ultimately go into the day of 4. So Monday was a day of 4, which is really cool because Monday rules over Cancer energy, which is associated with the 4th house. So 4 being that sense of belonging, home and family, dealing with that Cancer house, your emotional, intuitive self. And then 4 also dealing with chesed energy of grace and the celestial law, what I'm saying, that you'll be enforcing once you get to that 5, which we're going to talk about in a moment. It's all in divine alignment. We love it there. Hey, Harpy. Hey, Gil. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate you. So, Monday was a day of 4. You know what I'm saying? Did you guys feel yourself creating a foundation? Because things are built on the 4. That's like a square, right? And we build things with squares and bricks and all that fun stuff. Did you feel the 4? I kind of felt the 4. I felt like, for today was like a day of 11 for me, I think, on my personal numbers. So it was a day of mastery, and I had to keep telling myself that today. It was very difficult. But yeah. So now let's get into Tuesday. So Tuesday's mathematics ahead of time because I will see you tomorrow. Tuesday's mathematics is 311 9, right? So it's actually a day of mastery tomorrow, on the Tuesday. And so we get into that energy 11, well, in like an hour. That's all I wanted to do the mathematics at this time, because by the time I get done, the day will be beginning, right? So 11 is the number of mastery. This is when you do yourself so well, you take care of yourself so well that you become an inspiration and an aspiration to other people. 11 can also come into the 2 of interpersonal relationships, bonds and contracts, one-on-one relationships, not so much as a group or anything like that. But whenever I do master numbers, I kind of try to keep the master number as it is. So we're going to keep it as the 11. You doing you, and you're influencing other people to do the same. Good morning, Vikas. Peace to the guys out there. So you're going to take that 11 and you're going to put it to the month of 3, because of course I want to understand this energy of mastery, right? Like, who wouldn't want to stand under mastery? Who wouldn't want to create and express, and find their self-discipline and order and survival of self on a master level? Like, yeah, of course we want to do that. So we're going to put the 11 into the 3, which brings us 1 and 4. So now we have knowledge of the 4, which is like the 4 that we experienced today on a Monday, right? So now it's kind of like, go back into the Monday, get some knowledge, act out on that 4 that you established on Monday. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now that I know, what I'm creating with. And I did do the work on Monday as far as setting that foundation of things. So now I'm in the space of 5. You know what I'm saying? 5 is Herakuhuti. So now we're in the space of the celestial enforcer. So on Monday, we worked on 4, which is creating the celestial law. So now on Tuesday, we're in the 5 of enforcing that celestial law. So, and that's pretty cool too, because we have entered the second decan of the month, which is the decan of harmony and balance, which we take everything that we like initiated in the first decan of the month, and now we're starting to blend it into our, routine and into ourself and our well-being and our interpersonal relationships and our bonds and our contracts that we make with other people. And that's really fun, right? So yeah, coming back to the 5. So 5 is Herakuhuti energy. 5, in the tree of life is associated with Mars. This is Aries, Ogun energy. 5 is Javora. I'm saying this is the energy of strength. Again, enforcing the celestial law that we created on Monday. So hopefully you guys did that. Hopefully you guys, set the groundwork for Monday. And if not, you got like 1 more hour to do it. It depends on where you're at, though. I see some of you guys saying good morning. So you guys are probably already in the 11s, huh? All right. So we're going to take that 5 and we're going to put it into the year of 9, because of course we want to give birth to, our celestial forcer. You know what I'm saying? Mars rules over the solar plexus chakra. So, we want to have that confidence and that courageousness and that bravery and that ability to, be able to be 10 toes, if not 20 phalanges, all the way down in what it is that we've created for ourselves on the Monday, right? We want to be that confident in what it is that we do for ourselves. And so we're going to be like, hey, 9, that number of being born, birth, the sacred, divine, universal womb of 9, associated with Yesod, Cancer energy, and the tree of life, but also associated with Jupiter, Sagittarius energy of the sacral chakra. Hey, we want to give birth to this 5 right here. We want to give birth to our solar plexus chakra. And they're like, okay, cool. So what the universe does is it gives us that energy back in bite-sized pieces. Okay, you want to give birth to this 5? Here, focus on the 1 and 4, bringing us back to that knowledge of the 4 that we experienced the day before. You know what I'm saying? So once again, we're getting called on to like really focus on that foundation. What is it that you're trying to build on? You're getting multiple opportunities to create. This is the beginning. We're about to start a new year. You guys know that, right? Like for some of you guys that celebrate New Year's on the tropical chart, we enter the tropical New Year's on the 20th. The sun will be entering tropical Aries energy. But then we enter the Vedic New Year's on April 17th. That's when the sun enters Aries constellation. So those are two, whether, in your mindset or in your energy exchanges, like we're in those spaces, right? So, dealing with this repetition of 4, Hayes energy, peace to the God. Dealing with this repetition of 4, today, I will really use this because, like, we're about to go into an eclipse. It's about to be a full moon eclipse. It's about to be a super moon. Then we have Mercury going to retrograde with Venus. Mercury rules over our health, wellness, daily routine. So if we just like really set the tone and we allow ourselves to rewind in that Mercurian energy, we're giving ourselves chances to like repeat some cycles in our space to stand 10 toes down and more so than what we were before, right? So like utilize this second day to experience these 4s twice in a row throughout the day. And then it's happening on a day of Tuesday, which is a day ruled by the number 5. 5 is Hero Kahuti. This is Ogun. This is Mars energy in the tree of life. This is the celestial enforcer, enforcing that internal law that you create in the 4th Sephiroth. And so, yeah, you're going to focus on your solar plexus chakra today, whether you're dealing with the fact that today is Tuesday or you're dealing with the fact that today is a day of 5. Either way, it's what is your divine blueprint and how do you go about enforcing it? Are you projecting it on other people? Are you making it other people's responsibility to take on your celestial blueprint? Like, hey, if you guys aren't doing what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, when I'm doing it, whatever, then you're not enough. Or are you making it your responsibility to enforce your own personal blueprint? It doesn't matter if somebody else accepts it or respects it or whatever. This is what you want for you. Those are questions to ask for yourself. And hopefully you come up with balanced answers. And if not, heal your solar plexus chakra today. So that's what we got going on. Let's get into the astronomical report. So on Monday, we had an 83% waxing gibbous moon. We were in that moon of building, tangible things in our space at this point. It was a Leo Cancer moon, of course, in the tropical space. We're in Leo, and the Vedic, we're still in the Cancer constellation. So we have that balance between the internal and external third eye. The sunrise, the sun is still in Pisces, Aquarius energy. So we have that balance between what we believe and what we know, and things hidden beneath the horizon and, that divine light that comes to you through the ketters. It's one or the other. The moon of Persepi, we're at minimal angle at 8:43 a.m. On Monday, moon was 2 degrees north-northwest. Conjunction at 7:58 a.m. The moon was 2 degrees north, and we were able to absorb that on Monday morning at 5:03 a.m. with a 3.2 degree north-northwest separation. And so Persepi is a star in the Cancer constellation. This brings on the energy of it's like the central eye on the Cancer crab constellation for real. So it's like heavy intuition and insight. Now to on 3/11, which again in an hour we'll be all up in there. We start the day off at a 90% waxing gibbous moon rising at 4:29 p.m. setting at 6:14 a.m. We are in still tropically in Leo energy. Vedically we are in Cancer, so still giving you that introspection of the external and internal side of the third eye. So the moon is all up in its third eye space. It's in its home place. So you're going to have third eye experiences again today too. Yesterday was all about setting the foundation, finding your sense of belonging, finding your sense of grounding and foundation of the things and whatever it was that you want to create for your sense of freedom. Today is more so in a space of because we're on a day of 5 with it, enforcing those things. Sunrise at 7:15 a.m. and setting at 7:03 p.m. Tropically and Vedically, we're in Pisces and Aquarius energy. So this is happening in the fourth house. Oh yeah, let me remind. Oh, the moon is in the ninth house. This is the house of Sagittarius energy, expansion, growth, and optimism. So while you guys are having those third eye experiences today, with your moon energy, which is your emotional comfort self, it is going towards your interactions with traveling, expanding your knowledge, your optimistic self, your sense of joy, because ninth house is associated with your sacral chakra. So be mindful of that. Have joy today. Have a good time today. Do what you love today. And remind yourself that some of the things that you are doing, even though it's become strenuous and sometimes overwhelming, it is something that you love. Unless you've taken the love out of it. You've taken the love out of it. Jesus Christ, who am I talking to? You've taken the love out of it, then rewind and go back and remind yourself why you started engaging in those activities to begin with. And it wasn't to like overwhelm yourself or be a capitalist or whatever it is that's making you feel overwhelmed and unhappy and detached from whatever it is that you're doing. Anyway, let's get into it. So the sun is in the fourth house still, in a house of home and family, the matriarchal energy, the feminine energy, and it's in that Pisces and Aquarius of what you believe and what you know. Pisces dealing with the deep waters, deceitful illusion energy, while Aquarius is dealing with the intellect and detachment and your space of society, right? Where is your sense of belonging in society? You know what I'm saying? And what do you believe, about home and family and things like that, right? Thank you, nobody. Peace. Saturn is the furthest distance from Earth at 2:43 a.m. this morning, so we have a lot of those challenges and discipline and limitations stuff kind of removing itself far away. But this gives you guys the responsibility of tapping into that 5 today and being the celestial enforcer. Hey, Goddess. Hey, Greg. The moon and Regulus are in conjunction at 3:18 a.m. The moon will be 1.4 degrees north. Minimal angle at 4:54 a.m. The moon will be 1.2 degrees north northeast. And yes, it'll be visible because the moon is visible right now. Regulus is a star in the Leo constellation, bringing us the riches and the glory and the wealth and all that fun stuff. And we love that. So again, while Saturn is away, let your moon and Regulus play. Go on and manifest some of those things that you want in your space, right? Hey, Platinum. Goddess, how's your day going? Mercury and Venus are at minimal angle. That happens at 11 a.m. Mercury will be 5.5 degrees south-southeast. We'll be able to observe later on tonight at 7:40 p.m. with a 5.5 degree south-southeast separation. Mercury and Venus. And it's crazy that they're at a 5.5 on a day of 5 on a Tuesday. So very much enforcing what you want in your vortex with your throat chakra. Because in the tree of life, Mercury is actually the throat chakra. Mercury is actually the solar plexus chakra and not the throat, which is very interesting because in other practices, it's actually Mercury that's the throat chakra. But in a sense, that does make sense because in order to enforce the things that you want in your space, you do have to use your communication or your expression skills, right? And intellect plays a big role in, how and what you, and when you enforce your boundaries in your space, right? We like it there. So Mercury and Venus being in alignment, definitely, working on what you want in your vortex. You know what I'm saying? We get the opportunity to experience fours twice today, whether it's the 4 you experienced on Monday and then you experience, 14 twice on Tuesday when we do the mathematics. So we keep coming across this 4 foundation of what is it that you want. Setting the tone. It's kind of like having a New Year's resolution. We're about to hit the New Year's. What's your resolution? What is it that you want to do? Have you planned it out? Do you have the step by step? You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm saying don't get super attached to the step by step, especially if you guys are putting time zones to it, because the universe is in a bunch of rooms that you're not in, that you haven't even walked in yet. So you got to give yourself a little bit of grace with the timestamps, but it's okay to still have them because it's still giving you a sense of discipline and order, right? But yeah, set your resolutions with this Mercury and Venus alignment, because it's sitting in Aries, so it's preparing you for the Aries New Year's. It's in retrograde, so it's slowing down for you to catch up. That means that you're going to have a lot of repeats in your cycles that are going to, help you exercise enforcing these things that you're saying that you want in your space. You know what I'm saying? And I like that we have a lot of we have the retrograde leading us up to the sun actually entering Aries constellation. So that's cool, right? So keeping that in mind. entering the energy of Isis today. We're here from March 11th, and we're going to take the energy of Isis all the way out for the rest of the month. This is the goddess of nature. So now it's getting in tune with the seasons and nature. For my agriculturalists, I know you guys out there putting your hands in the dirt as we're about to experience this worm moon, meaning the soil is about to loosen up for you. And it's a great time, and we love it there. All right, so that's what we have for the astrological, astronomical report, the mathematics. Oh, just to remind you guys, the letters associated with the number 5 is E and W. E is fire, so we're taking action and we're feeling. N is air, so we're in our intellectual space. And then W is earth, so we're bringing things into formation, into the physical realm, and we love it there. So that's what I have for you guys there. As far as the gematria and the numerology goes, and we got into the Netaroos a little bit. I don't want to get too deep into it today. But 5 is the celestial enforcer, the Hera Kahuti energy. Aries, Ogun, you have the internal law, you're enforcing the internal law. When we get into the calendar of the things, like I said, we've entered the energy of Isis. We are in a new month today. Hold on. I'm waiting for it to load. But we do enter a new month on the Kemetic calendar. In the Hebrew calendar, we're still in the energy of Mina, which is Pisces on the tropical and Draconic chart. That is the Pisces fish of being intuitive and empathetic without being a martyr. Having a sense of balancing your emotional self is key there. We are still in the energy of Kumbha on the Vedic, the constellation space. That's Aquarius, being innovative and a thinker, independent thinker. And my son is an Aquarius moon, and I just love it. I love the conversations that we have. I love how intellectual he is. He's just always like wowing me. And yeah, he really wows me with the kind of conversation I have. And I have to remind myself, like, bro, I'm talking to an 11-year-old. This is crazy. Okay, so we're officially in the month of Feminoth. This is still in the season of Peret, which we're here until the month of May. This is the growing season. The ruling deity over this energy is Osiris, which is the god of afterlife and fertility. Still bringing us into that new beginnings of, endings and beginnings, life and death with that Aries energy. That's where we're at with it. Fertilizing and growth related activities continue during this period. And as far as the we're still in the month of Adar on the Hebrew calendar, and we're on the day of Yom Shlishi, which is the second day, or the third day, because we start on a Sunday. And on the third day, God gathered the waters and caused the dry land to appear. That's Genesis 1:9-13. It's also a day when vegetation began to grow. It is a day associated with growth and nourishment. This day is considered a day of blessing because it is the only day in creation where 2 blessings are mentioned. It symbolizes abundance, growth, and fertility of the earth. So Yom Shlishi is Tuesday, and that's growth, abundance, and nourishment. In the in the Hindu calendar, this is Mangalvar, Lord Anuma, and Lord Mars, the monkey god, which is a symbol of strength and devotion and courage, right? As far as the horoscope goes, we're in the year 2025. This is the year of gold. We're in the year of the wood snake. We're in the Celtic or Druid horoscope of Ash. We're in the West African horoscope of family until April, and then we're in the Native American horoscope of the wolf. So all that's happening there. We are in the solar plexus chakra, like I spoke on before, which is ruled by Mars. And we know Mars is over there in Cancer, Gemini energy right now. So that's what's ruling over the solar plexus chakra as a collective, is nurturing a sense of belonging, you know what I'm saying? Emotions, intuitive self, the feminine energy. Definitely time for the feminine energy to start enforcing and barking a little louder than usual. But we see that, you know, whether it's in a man or a woman vessel, the feminine energy is starting to come out more. Um, it's just now it's time to be more productive about it, have more groundedness and discipline and order with the feminine energy as we're, you know, utilizing it instead of just having it spew all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna work on that. I know I'm being patient. I'm being patient. But again, this is not a projection because it ain't for everybody. But if you're sitting here listening, it might be for you. um, but that's what's happening there. And so let's get into the celestial hours. I didn't want to keep you guys too long today. I didn't want to keep me too long today. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't want to keep nothing too long today. I'm trying to enforce this work schedule. I got some goals that I wanna hit the ground running on, and I'm trying to give myself grace because you guys know I'm still healing my leg, and it's very painful. Like, I'm not even doing anything too crazy, and it's like, yeah, girl, you handicapped, and I'm like, I know, but I need to function in this world. And everybody keeps telling me I'm okay, but I'm not okay. I'm in a lot of pain. It is what it is, though. I'm here, right? We love it here. So let's get into it. The hours of Mars is from 12 a.m. to 1 a.m., 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., and 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. And we know Mars is all about assertive, aggressive energy, the solar plexus chakra. This is your celestial enforcer. During this space of time, you want to focus on what you are ambitious about, what angers you, what motivates you, what gets you going, what is provocative for you, what is the law that you want to enforce in your space. And right now, as a collective, everybody wants to think about their intuitive, emotional self. What kind of laws do they want to enforce based upon their third eye, right? And in the energy exchanges of things, this is having an effect on how you exert yourself in your community and how you communicate, as Mars is sitting over there in Gemini constellation. The hours of the sun are from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., and 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Saturn is about energy and vitality, expression, experiences, your extroverted self, right? It's also a part of the third eye, but it's more so of the external side of the third eye. Like, you know what I'm saying? What is the output while the moon is the input? You know what I'm saying? So we talked about that before, as far as the sun being in Pisces on the tropical and draconic. So your mind and your soul right now is in the Akashic records, things hidden beneath the horizon, your beliefs, your subconscious, your dreamy like self. Hey Patrick, the Vedic or energy exchanges, while you know your mindset is having all those dreams and subconscious, is affecting your role in society, how you feel about society, how secure you are in society, as Aquarius rules the roots of being upward as a collective. Hey Constantine. um yeah, your innovative, intuitive self, you know what I'm saying, is in alignment with the sun right now, and that's fun. Hey Orpheus. So Venus hours are from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., and then 11 p.m. to midnight. So with Venus, Venus deals with aesthetics and creativity, you know, creating stuff. My artist in the back, if you're into fashion, music, jewelry making, painting, whatever, creating, the celestial designers. That's the Venusian energy. Also a space of business, wealth, love, priorities, what you value. That's all Venusian energy too. And right now Venus is in retrograde, so it's moving a little slow in that space of creation. And so for some of my creators out there, my artists out there, you guys might be having brain fog. For some of you guys who are born in a during a Venusian retrograde, you guys might finally feel like, oh, my anxiety is gone, and And I finally feel, more lighter than usual. And that's because Venus is finally going your speed for you so that you can just take a breath for a second. And, kudos to you. Venus is sitting over there in Aries on the tropical and draconic chart. New beginnings, being motivated, feeling ambitious, feeling inspired. You know what I'm saying? So there are some things that you want to move on. Like, dang, I really want a relationship. I want to fall in love. I want, togetherness. I want connections. You know what I'm saying? I want these things in my vortex that I want. In the same breath, Venus is still in retrograde, so give yourself grace, especially in your head. You might be a little hard on yourself, a little impatient in your head because Venus is in that fire. Meanwhile, Venus is still in that Pisces constellation on top of it being in retrograde. So that Pisces constellation is still slow and steady and detached and, in deep waters and still dealing with things that are hidden beneath the horizon and doing the spiritual, subconscious, dream-like work, right? So, this is a great time of planning and organizing, designing, visualizing what it is that you want, how you want to spend your time, visualize that kind of partner that you want in your space, visualize the communities that you want to support you, visualize, your business and how you want to obtain and maintain your wealth and what it looks like and how you're maintaining it. You could be very meticulous about this, especially with Mercury being right next to Venus. Right now, while they're in conjunction today, it's a good time to be very detail oriented about that Venusian space and what those new beginnings look like, right? What that daily routine looks like as you uphold that Venusian structure you want to have. This is how I want to wake up. This is how I want my routine to go. This is how I want to go to bed. This is how I want to feel. This is how I want to think. This is what I want to study. This is that. Also, yeah, this is a good time to study about the things that you want in your relationships. Like you want more romantic relationships, you might want to start invoking more things like that in your vortex. You know what I say? Here's a little key. Find out where your Venus is placed. And you guys know I'm a big fan of the progressive chart. It's not always about the natal chart. Natal chart is about where the planets were at when you were born. A lot of you guys are old as shit. And your Venus has moved to many zodiacs since then. I didn't mean to say it like that, but I did a little bit. But you guys are still utilizing your natal chart, the chart you had when you were a little baby, when you first got here. Everything is always moving, nothing sits still. So in that same breath, look at your progressive chart. Where are your planets at now? What are their aspects now? And then your natal chart, your inner child still exists. So yeah, you could look at the aspects between your progressive and your natal. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, but don't let your natal be your main focus, right? Look at where your planets are at now. So here's my tip. My bad. I went on a little tangent about your age, and I'm so sorry. But, so here's the tip. When you look at your Venusian placement, for those of you guys that like to get into like music, right? When you're playing love songs, play love songs that were created around that, created by artists whose like signs are in alignment with your Venus placement. Like maybe they're Mercury, because Mercury is expression. So maybe the writer of the song it has a Mercury placement that's in alignment with your Venus placement. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the person that's singing the song, maybe their Mercury is in alignment, because this is expression and communication, right? Or maybe their Venus is in alignment with your Venus, or maybe their Sun is in alignment with your Venus. So they're having the experiences and expressing themselves in a way that speaks to your heart chakra. Same thing with actors. If you guys like to watch like rom-coms or something, and this is just a space of love. Now, when we talk about music, when we talk about business, excuse me, peace, mirror, how you doing, love? When we talked about business, same thing. Like watch documentaries and watch certain big business owners and CEOs and stuff like that who have placements that are in alignment with your placements. Look at what they're doing, how they move, what they're passionate about, how they spend their time and all that stuff like that. There's definitely in divine alignment, they exist in your space for a reason, you know what I'm saying? Utilize the stars, and sometimes if you can't look directly at the stars and know what is going on, look at the personification of the stars. You're a personification of a star. Somebody's sitting around looking at you, just like somebody's sitting around and looking at me right now, because there's something about my stars that align with their stars, and that makes them want to sit here and engage in my communication and what I have to say. You know what I'm saying? So I would say start utilizing the personifications of the stars around you, to study and get in get in tune with. And you'll be surprised. A lot of people, you don't even know what their star placements are, but if you get into it, you'll realize like, oh shit, you do invoke my Venus energy right now. And that's probably why I do like your YouTube page, or I like this, or I like that. Like, that's so crazy. And it doesn't hurt to utilize those kind of tools. It's very helpful. I think music is a little bit easier, but some of you guys like to follow like very open and transparent YouTubers and TikTokers and stuff like that. So like, ask the question like, when's your birthday? Or whatever. Like, do you know your Mercury placement? Like, it's okay. Um, Also, talking to your friends. Like, you guys have friends. You guys have people in your personal circle that you feel very confident with in the terms of business or discipline or routine or moral code or whatever. You know, have those conversations. Realize how their planets fit in your planet, so you can see like in what ways and how to what ways to watch them. A little different. Engage and absorb them a little different. And that's just my tip for that. If you guys are really like trying to use that Mercury and Venus alignment, especially because we're about to have like um, a Virgo eclipse, which is, ruled by Mercury energy. So, you might as well. And then we're going to have Mercury going in retrograde right after that. So it's going to slow down, for you guys to catch up and repeat some cycles in your daily routine and your moral integral code. And then it's going to realign with Venus again as they go in retrograde and prograde again. So like, you're going to have like some Groundhog's Day type experiences. So you might as well, look at some different ways ahead of time of how you can engage in these repetitive cycles. And that's just my take on that. Um, the moon, did I talk about Mercury's hours? Because I was talking about Mercury heavy, but did I get there? Mercury hours are from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., and then midnight. Of course, we start Wednesday on a Mercury hour. The moon's hours are from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. The moon is all about intuition, your emotional self. You get into some spiritual work, utilizing your third eye. Meditation is heavy there. Anything with the Om, you know what I'm saying? That's heavy on the moon. So the moon is sitting over there between Leo and Cancer energy. So it's kind of in its like split between his home space, because Leo is like the external side of the third eye chakra, and then Cancer is the internal side of the third eye chakra. The sun and moon both rule over the third eye, whether it's the expression of it or the impression, um, which is really fun. And so, the moon is giving that emotional connection to your third eye from your physical self. Like I said, and I'm trying to say like 5 different words at one time. Experiencing, you're experiencing experiences that have you tuned into your third eye and having more third eye conversations. Like, have more introspection on the different experiences that you have. And if you guys journaled about your Monday, this would be a good day to, this is a good space to create some sense of foundation on your introspection. Like, I feel like this about how my day went. I feel like this, and get in detail. What parts about your day do you feel about, and why do you feel about that? And then, have some sense of like how you want to enforce those feelings in your space. You know what I'm saying? I want to express these feelings like that. I want to enforce these feelings like this. I want to experience these experiences like that moving forward. Like, that's all like having introspection on your third eye and your emotional self. Like I said, we live in a society that's always telling you guys to get out of your feelings. Don't feel things. Your feelings don't matter. Fuck your emotions. Emotions make you weak. Woo wop. But that's literally the middle ground between your human experience and your spiritual self is your emotions. Your emotions is like the most important antenna that you have. It's your nerves, and you should definitely always be in your feelings. I don't understand. You should always be in your feelings. And your feelings can be very extreme and overwhelming and stuff like that. And that's because, they're big, and they're bigger than the vessel that you're in. Like, emotions are water, right? And have you ever spilled a cup of water and you watch the water and it just keeps going and going and going. Like the water is not going to stop until like it hits up against something. And even when it hits up against something, it's still finding ways to keep spreading. And that's how it is holding in emotions. Your emotions are water, and it's going to keep spreading, 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 spreading. And that's what it's trying to do. And that's why when you suppress your emotions instead of expressing them, you get tumors, because you're like holding the water in and eventually starts to like coagulate or whatever. And so, shows up in your body as tumors or a stroke from something not moving or flowing the way it's supposed to be. So it's kind of like, fighting against your physical body, your vessel. You know what I'm saying? Like emotions are big. So let them be big. I'm not saying, start doing illegal stuff and malicious stuff and being violent and volatile and all that. It's not what I'm saying at all. Discipline is key always, you know what I'm saying? But in the same breath, it's allow yourself to express your emotions, regardless of how big they are. You're allowed to have them, and they're supposed to be big because they're water, and they're supposed to, like, your body is earth. So what does earth do when it's always in water? It makes the body kind of like softer on the edges, right? It smooths the water, the earth self down. So if that's what it's doing to, that's what's supposed to do to the physical experience. It's supposed to smooth down the rough edges of the physical experience if you're always in your feelings. And the fact that we spend so much time like detaching and ignoring our emotions and demonizing them and all these different things that we do to make sure that we're not in our emotions, and we just go with the flow of the physical world, it just creates this really weird imbalance. And a lot of people are unhappy and depressed, and they're coping with medications and all this other weird shit. And it's just like, why, when you could just let yourself feel? And you come to the realization that a lot of us feel the same thing about a lot of the same things, and it creates a sense of unity and community. And now we're like this powerful force because there's no bond stronger than the bond of H2O. So I don't know how many more rants I got in me tonight. But I'm going to leave that one where it's at. All right, so the hours of Saturn. Saturn deals with your discipline, your long-term planning, but it helps you like have a sense of insight on like the challenges that are going to come into your space. You know what I'm saying? The limitations and the boundaries, the survival of self when it comes to this long-term planning. And sometimes it can seem as doom and gloom or traumatic, or people be scared of Saturn because it's like, oh my God, here it comes with the chastising. But we like limitations and we like discipline and order, because that's what helps us, form and manifest things into our space. Again, come with me and read Sefer Yetzirah. I do read it at random hours. I'm sorry, I don't have grounding when it comes to the clock, and I'm trying to, readjust myself again. So I don't have set times for these podcasts, but I'm so glad you guys catch me when y'all catch me. Um, but we are reading Sefer Yetzirah, and we get into Bina very heavily, which is Saturn energy, the sense of understanding and discipline. And the more I read about it from the Sefer Yetzirah point of view, it just like makes it even more beautiful, what Saturn brings for us. And it's a reason why Saturn day is the Sabbath and Saturn is being praised and worshipped. And it's kind of weird that that gets demonized now that you learn, like, what Saturn is about and how it's actually a feminine energy, because feminine energy brings the discipline and the boundaries of the things. You know what I'm saying? One of the analogies that I gave earlier that we talked about in the book was how like a man can have all the seeds, and keep sowing his seeds. This is one of the analogies that men like to use too, when they're like, oh, a man can use his key to unlock many locks, but the lock can only be unlocked by one key. Like, it's like that. And so, yeah, you're right. Because there's discipline lacking in that one form of like chesed. Chokmah. Chokmah is the opposite energy of Bina. And Chokmah is this overabundance and expression. And Chokmah is associated with Jupiter. That's Zeus. Zeus was out here sowing his seeds all over the place, just having babies out there. Pew, 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 pew. And Bina is that feminine energy that can only have one, not necessarily one baby at one time, but like if the womb is full, it's full for the 9 months, you know, given some random like health things that happen that are really cool stories, but we know that, you know, generally speaking, that's not always the case. You get pregnant, you're having that baby for 9 months, you know what I'm saying? Aside from the miracles. And so, like, that's the limitations, that's the restriction, that's the discipline, that's the order, that's the challenges, right? And we need those, you know what I'm saying? Because if we didn't and everybody was just moving around like they had the seeds and I can get anything and everybody pregnant and I can get pregnant and all the time just shoot out babies, there'd be so many babies all over the place, it'd be crazy. So, like, when when you have that masculine energy that has like that abundance and expansion and all this light, you know what I'm saying? And it goes into the Bina energy, the Saturn energy. It's like giving it a funnel. And so what that also reminded me of reading Sefer Yetzirah is like the statues you see of the man and the woman and how they're standing side by side. And this is like the alignment of Chokma and Bina, Jupiter and Saturn, right? They stand side by side, and the woman's hand is always on the small of his back or next to his arm. You know what I'm saying? And then it's that saying that goes like the man is the head, where like all these thoughts, they're so expanded. Like thoughts never fucking stop, right? But the feminine energy is the neck that directs the head, right? And so it provides that, you know, I see you focused all over the place, but look here, focus here. This is where your focus should go at. This is where your thoughts should be on. And, you know, that's where like that woman, you know, being in charge, being like, you know, still soft, you know, in her feminine energy at the same time, you know. I really love it. I really like this book that we're reading. I really love all the insight and stuff, and I hope I'm explaining it well enough for you guys. But yeah, that's a big one. You know, women, you know, being back on their throne where they belong. You know what I'm saying? Side by side. Tiferet is beauty, and that's the sun, and we love it there. I was talking about Bina, understanding. And we got into those Saturn hours, right? 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., and then 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And Saturn is sitting over there in Pisces energy in the fourth house. So it's dealing with, you know, providing the challenges, the limitations, the discipline and order to your dreams, your subconscious, Akashic records, things hidden beneath the horizon and stuff like that. And we like when the discipline and the challenge and stuff are coming to that, because that's putting them into a law and order, right? And that happens in a number of different ways. One, Saturn is sitting over there in the Aquarius constellation, so it's providing challenges to society, right? And what society has been believing in, because some of the things society has been believing in hasn't been in alignment with proper discipline and structure, right? And then, you know, the story of Saturn also being associated with Babylao, you know, making sure everything is, you know, in alignment with law, justice, and order, the Mayat laws, right? And providing challenges, you know, to anything that isn't. So we see that a lot, you know, a lot of things that we believed in and we subconsciously thought and and they're being challenged because they're not in alignment with Mayat. They're not righteous. They're not, you know, so they do need some discipline and some order. Also, some people that have been, you know, in la la land and just having these beliefs and all this trust. I trust the supermarket. I trust the government. I trust these strangers. I trust celebrities. Just out here trusting and believing, trusting and believing. And Saturn is providing challenges to all that trusting and believing and saying, hey, now in the physical world, we implementing these things and we, you know, survival, self, and all this stuff comes in the hand. This shit is not helping you survive. It's actually making you sick. These people actually are sick. You know, all these things are making you mentally and emotionally sick. But you've been taught to believe in these things and believe in these people and believe in these mindsets and these things that you keep being conditioned. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But that's what Saturn is doing for us over there in Pisces and Aquarius energy. It's affecting our society as we find challenges in a lot of the things that we've been believing in. And a lot of the illusionists that been calling on us to believe in these things, they've been benefiting off of us believing in these things. Like they're experiencing a lot of challenges. They might not sit in y'all face and tell y'all all the challenges that they're going through. You might not see everybody, you know, having their day. You see a few people getting locked up and having their, you know, day in court and all that stuff like that, you know, but, you know, a lot of people are dealing with other things and sometimes it's quietly, you know. Like I got into Jupiter really heavy already, dealing with Chokma and stuff. Deals with the limitations and the restrictions and stuff. And Jupiter is like, okay, well, here's the bright side of that. Here's expansion and abundance. You know, Jupiter also deals with the Chokma to the Bina. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that it's like that meditative state that requires like the restrictions and the boundaries to come into the physical world, right? And so if you want to have a lot of your thoughts, and you want to bring a lot of that spiritual energy into the physical, you want to have that nice balance between Jupiter and Saturn. It will behoove you to do that. And Jupiter is sitting over there in Gemini. So expansion and abundance, joy and optimism, creating a utopia, and in your intellectual stuff, learning how to be adaptable and flexible, but still focused. Dealing with your community and communication. This is all happening in the mindsets in the seventh house of law, justice, and order. So we want justice. We want law. You know what I'm saying? We want these things that Saturn is over there doing. We want them, and we want them applied to our society. Because, we want certain bonds and contracts that we were duped into signing or whatever to, be undone. Some of our parents and grandparents were duped into signing over, different assets and rights and privileges and stuff like that. That's just been, generational, and we're learning more about them, and we want to break them. And, that's all Jupiter expanding in that space of community and communication. A lot more different ways to communicate is happening here, especially when Uranus starts to enter Gemini. Whew, it's going to be crazy. But it'll still be in Taurus constellation, just like Jupiter is. So, and the inner events of the things, as in our mindset, the community is receiving that, that justice, and Jupiter also deals with business and optimism and generosity and all that stuff like that. It's happening in that Taurus form in the physical realm. So wealth and love is big on expanding and stuff like that. So more events are happening, but they're supposed to be pushing you guys to unify and show up for one another as a community, as a family, as tribes. They're pushing you guys to have expanded mindset on what wealth is, and what generosity is, and what the utopias are for you and the people you attract as your community. And then having a sense of righteousness and keeping your heart light as a feather. So while a lot of this stuff seems like gloom and doom and oh my god and what the fuck, it's supposed to be pushing you guys to a better spiritual, physical you know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't listen unless like they're being punched in their face. You know what I'm saying? Like, geez, like you have some people that like all you got to do is tell them real softly, like, hey, it'd be really great if you guys would just unify, and start to build together, and da da da. Like, this will make it a whole lot easier for you guys. And then some people, you got to just be like, you know what? You have no choice. Fuck it. Like, what are you gonna do? It's Mad Max out here. And so for those people in the back that need to learn that way, they're definitely getting it. Yep. All I had to do was watch A Bug's Life or Ants. That's all you had to give me. A Bug's Life, Ants, The Secret of Nim. I was on it. Like, that's all I had to hear. That's all I had to see. James and a Giant Peach. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I had to see. You didn't have to do too much else. But for a lot of people, you got to do fear mongering and war and fires and hurricanes and crazy presidents and corporations doing wild things, and people shooting rockets in the sky back to back, back to back, back to back, with no cares in the world. Like, there's no repercussions. It's just throwing trash into the sky. Like, it's not going to come back down, because that's not how gravity works, right? All right, here we go. Like, the fact that we're surprised that stuff that we shot up in the sky is coming back down on us, as if it doesn't happen all the time in the rain and the snow, to the point now where people are convinced that the snow isn't real. No, it's a result of all the pollution we put in the sky. It's now coming back down in condensation. This is the circle of life of water. Where were we at in science class? Stop putting shit in the sky and it'll stop coming back down on us. Like, what's happening here? Um, but yeah, I think that was my second rant. And I think I might have one more in me. Let's pull these tarot cards and see what other rant I might have in me. All right, so the theme of today's reading is retreat. We're dealing with the reishi mushroom, which is, all week, the last couple of weeks, I've been dealing with a lot of herbs that are for your thought power and brain power. So I guess that's what we're focusing on. You guys need to focus on your mindset. We're really big on the mindset. Expanding and focusing, and mind health, mental health is a big one. So, you know, Reishi energy, retreat is the space. So going inward, 2 and 7. 2 deals with Taurus energy, 7 deals with Libra energy. 2 is wisdom, that's, you know, Chokmon, Jupiter. We've been talking about that heavy. And look, there go Jupiter up there. And then 7 deals with that's Venus, the yeah, it's Venus. So heavy Venusian Jupiter energy here. 2 and 7 brings you to the 9. So having that alignment between your heart chakra and your sacral chakra is going to help you with giving birth to something. But those are things you got to go inward and think about. You know what I'm saying? Chokma is wisdom. That's your internal self. You know, Venus deals with your personal priorities and your celestial designing self. So again, more your personal self. You know, what do you want? How do you want it to look? How do you want to take care of it? You know, how does it affect you? You know, visualizing things for the next few days, especially as we lead ourselves up to the full moon, is definitely Jupiter and the sun are the planets at the top. So, you know, experiencing your Jupiter self, experiencing your sacral chakra. Like I was telling you guys today, today is a great day to have fun. Have fun in whatever it is that you want to do. Remind yourself, oh, and you know what I like? Okay, so this card has 2 and 7 on it, right? And so I pulled the reverse 2 of wands and an upright 7 of pentacles. So there's an imbalance here in the actions, you know what I'm saying? And it's bringing this little, you know, we want to be confident. We like to be confident and courageous in our 7 of pentacles and our balance of things, our bonds and contracts in the physical world. I think we might want to upright that 2 of wands though. That doesn't feel too good. It feels like a little balance and uneasiness. And it's kind of like you got the pentacles and it's everything balanced, but it doesn't feel like you're having a good time here. You know what I'm saying? But it is like hermit energy when we pull a 7. 7 brings you back into the spiritual side of things. So hopefully if you go back into your spiritual self, it'll help you come back to that joy of why you started doing those things in the first place. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a little overwhelming here. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're a little overwhelmed here. We're not having fun here anymore. We have the things. You have everything you need. And maybe you have everything you need and you don't realize you have everything you need. So you keep like going for more and more and more and more and more. And that's where the imbalance on the 2 is happening. And it's sucking the fun out of the physical of it all because it's like, what about more? And that's just a space of greed. That's not even really like, don't even really need that. What parts of self to focus on? We're going to focus on, again, our chokma. Jupiter is the name of the game today, huh? So we're going to focus on chokma, which is our wisdom. This is the King of Wands. So, you know, taking more control of our actions, organizing our actions a whole lot more, you know what I'm saying? Being in charge, being accountable for a lot of our actions instead of making it seem like, oh, it's this person, it's that person, it's this thing, it's that thing, it's all these other things around me, it's everything but me. No, it is you, and that's okay that it is you, because if it's you, that means that you can fix it, you know what I'm saying? Focus on your solar plexus chakra on this day of 5. This is the energy of miracles happening in your solar plexus chakra. And who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe, right? And so, believe in yourself. There's a little thing in there. You gotta believe in shit like this for it to be real. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, you know, confidence and courageousness is key. You know what I'm saying? And when you're confident and courageous, you ever seen somebody that's full of shit walk in a room, and because they walked in a room with all this confidence and stuff like that, they were able to like convince everybody they were supposed to be there and whatever they was doing was right and da da da, and they had no idea what the fuck they were doing. Like fake it till you make it is like some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about energy, for real, for real. But you ain't gotta fake it till you make it. You really already have everything you need. Like everything is balanced. Everything is good here. It's just like it's just you. It's your mindset and it's your actions and your energy, and you're not having fun with it anymore because you made it all about the indoctrinations that you received that told you had to have bigger and better and more, and you know, and it's making you overlook the fact that you have more than enough. Like your cup is already overflowing. Like you're already at a sense of balance. Like why are you still upset? Like relax. And then we have the space of loyalty. And I like it. 7 and 1. So again, coming to that balance and contract. 7 is a big number here. In fact, what did we pull? We pulled like 3 7s here. We pulled 3 7s. So that's cool. So if y'all see 777 today, y'all know what it is. It's reminding you guys, you have everything you need already. You know what I'm saying? You're good. Seven and one though is having like knowledge on those bonds and stuff in your space. Some of you guys aren't trusting certain energies in your space. You know what I'm saying? Trust them. You know, and trust them because you are exhibiting what you want in that bond. You ain't got to trust that person. Trust yourself and the experience that you're giving yourself in that bond. Hey, I want to have a good time here. I want to have loyalty and trust. I want to make some good memories. I want to have this. I want to have that. And regardless of what that other person is doing, that's on them and that's what they're going to attract. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they might still do some fuck shit or whatever, you know, but in the end of it, it's like, you can't keep making what other people are doing and saying and how they're behaving like the main character of your story. That's weird. And then you're doing yourself a disservice. Like, it's your story. Like, oh man, this person is this and this person is that. So like, I'm just not going to do this and I'm not going to do that. But that's what you want to do though. Like, you want a business or you want to be in love, but you're making all the what ifs of this person prevent you from having the love experiences. Now, if you don't want to be with that person, don't be with that person. If you don't want to do business with that person, don't do that. If you don't want to have a friendship with that person, don't do that. But don't stop yourself from not doing it because of that person. Like, no, this is what you want to have, so have it. Give it to yourself. And if you want to play fire with that particular person, be accountable and play fire. Like, okay, I know this person's a piece of shit, but you know, I'm having a good time here, so I'm gonna keep having a good time here until it's not fun for me anymore. And then when it's not fun, walk away. It can really be so simple. Um, Stop sucking the fun out of everything. It's supposed to be fun here. And I promise when I speak to y'all, I'm speaking to myself. I'm good, chocolate stoner. How are you? So enjoy while Saturn is as furthest away from Earth. Find some joy today. Tap into your chokma today. Be expanded, be abundant, and all that stuff like that. And then understand that at some point in time, having some sense of groundedness and boundaries to that expansion, you know, will help you out. But yeah, don't fall into that bigger is better and more and you're not happy until you have the super size king size me package. Like, bro, you could be so happy with medium and small, you know? Like, sometimes we bite off more than we can chew. We end up choking and throwing up or overstuffing ourselves, and that's not fun. So don't be that person. Not everybody needs bigger and better. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed me because I enjoyed you. You know what I'm saying? My night is treating me okay. I'm about to put my leg up, relax, take a breath because I have to get up in the morning and do today all over again. And it's going to be a great time. So I'm on a mission. And yeah, on Sunday I'm teaching an energy awareness course. If you guys are interested, please join me. I love it when you guys join me for my courses. It is a free course. It'll be free for a limited time, just like my consultations. I'm about to start charging for my consultations, and let me tell you why. I had them for free for the longest, and you know what happens? People book me and they don't show up, and so I'm sitting here waiting, you know, for someone to show up to a meeting that they never show up to because they don't value it because they didn't pay for it. And then I always get the, oh my bad, I forgot. Oh my bad, I didn't read the email that told me that we were meeting not through Facebook. Why would I call you on Facebook? This is a professional meeting. And I don't even call you on Facebook at all because we're not personal friends. So, like, I don't understand. Read the emails. If it was something you were paying for, you would read the emails. Um, so yeah, consultations is free for a limited time too, and that's not even about some money shit. That's more so like respect for my time. I don't think you guys value my time enough. Keep coordinating these meetings with me and not showing up and starting to grind my gears a little bit. But yeah. So I think my New Year's resolution is going to be, I'm going to start charging for my consultations and I'm going to start charging for my energy awareness course as well. Because I'd have a bunch of people RSVP and again, not show up. And it's just, oh, did you record it? If I did, I wouldn't give it to you because you should have showed up or, you know, not RSVP. But again, it's not about the money. it's about respect for my time and having value for my time. And if I need other people to value it, I need to put a value to it. So this is me enforcing my things on this day of 5. But for now, they're still free. You know what I'm saying? Give me while you can. I do love what I do, and I'm very passionate about it. And I'm also really, really good at it. You guys, I don't think you guys realize how good it is, how good I am at what I do. Okay, not only am I good at astrology and numerology and tarot card reading, but I also have a background in behavioral coaching and psychology. Like, I'm a counselor. This is what I do. I do behavioral coaching. So you're going to get like a whole therapy session from me, and you're going to align it to your chakras and your sephiros. Like, best of both worlds. This is Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus at its finest. Come on now. Use me. Because this is what I'm here for. This is why I'm here. It's not too much else I'm passionate about. So, yeah. Book me. Tell your friends about me. Something. I'll see you guys. If anybody's in the DC area, I'm also performing on Saturday. I'll be in DC performing. Shouts to Enoch 7 Prophet. I'm very excited about this. You guys can check me out. I'm gonna start putting more effort on TikTok with the posts. I know I've been slipping on the posting row. Because I got very comfortable and spoiled with pre-posting on meta platforms to where like I be surprising myself every day like, oh snap, look, it's more posts for me that I forgot that I pre-posted. But I'm gonna get it together. I'm getting it together. I'm finding my footing with things. I think I could pre-post on TikTok too, but I think that every time I tried to, it was like all these glitches and errors and stuff like that, and it got annoying. So I gave up. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to that too. What else? Did I forget anything? I love to do readings. Book me for a reading. Energy awareness course. Cosmic Nobodies University. If you guys would like to subscribe to that, that's one course a month. A one-on-one session with me every week, and you get your personal numbers every month. And that's something that we'll do one-on-one as well as in a group. And we go in depth with the energy awareness. It's way more in depth than the energy awareness course that I teach on Sundays. Because we'll actually be focusing on one Sephiro at a time every class, rather than trying to do all 7 in one shot. So that's also something you guys can subscribe to if you're interested in learning about that in more depth. Music. I make jewelry. I'll be trying to did I say everything? I don't know. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, everybody. I love you guys so much.